Bayanihan na, bayanihan na, oh. Bayanihan, pagtutulungan, walang kupas na kaugalian. Nagtagatibay, sinasabuhay, galak sa puso ay walang kapantay. Panahon na naman ang brigada, pagbigisin lakas at diwa. Tara na brigada na, brigada eskwela, magkaisa sama-sama. Brigada eskwela, salina mo ang barkada. Brigada eskwela, kilos na magbayanihan. Ikaw ako, tayong lahat, hawak kamay, sabay-sabay, napikpisik buong bayan. Tara na, kumilos na, tulong-tulong sa pagsulong, hatid na kalidad sa edukasyon. Sa kabataan, sila at tulong, buong madla sabay na aahon. Panahon na naman ang brigada, bigisin lakas at diwa. Tara na brigada na, brigada eskwela, kilos na magbayanihan na. Sabay-sabay, magbayanihan na. Sabay-sabay, magbayanihan
Hello everyone. So here I am now on site, scheduled as one of the skeleton workforce and eventually to give opening remarks or welcome remarks rather on this afternoon's virtual joint 2020 School Brigada in Oplan Balik Eskwela. But before this, allow me to acknowledge the presence of the following personalities. The energetic and approachable father of Lobas Barangay, La Trinidad, Benguet, Honorable Roger Angel, the young and beautiful mother of our school hope, second home, La Trinidad National High School, Ma'am Mana Estacio, the gorgeous and focal person of Brigada in this institution, Miss Constancia Jane Abudilis, my tandem partner, the technical working committee, who are equally handsome and patient. They were the one who designed the tarpaulin and fixed the ICT, Mr. Christopher Ejong and Mr. Agustin Dauinis. And the two ladies at the administration office, Miss Josan Sagantillo and Miss Jacqueline Balwang. We have here with us also the dedicated Faculty and Employees Association President, Mr. Marvin Panatan. Lastly, our two industrious and committed watchman and utility worker, Mr. Roland Cosme and Miss Jenna Gallardo. For those who are in their homes with home to right now, it's a privilege to be with us, the fellow teachers who would be the frontliners, a face-to-face classroom situation come 2020-2021. And together to our supported public and private stakeholders, especially the parents, warm welcome home. In reality, we are facing new world because of this pandemic, and it is a must that we do possible things and or other alternatives in all aspects to live happily, smile, and work together as one. One of it is the Brigada Eskwela in Oplan Balik Eskwela. Well, this is not new to us because we have been doing 2 weeks before the opening of classes in order that our children will have their classes normally every June of the school year. For now, the phase of this program is different, as stated in DepEd Order, DepEd Memorandum Number 53, Series 2020, signed by Secretary of Education Leonor Martolis Briones, dated May 28, 2020. This memorandum is entitled Joint Implementing Guidelines on the 2020 Brigada Eskwela and Oplan Balik Eskwela relative to the COVID-19 situation, amending thereby DepEd Memorandum Number 032, Series 2020, titled Brigada Eskwela Program, Implementing Guidelines in DepEd Memorandum Number 014, Series 2020, titled 2020 Oplan Balik Eskwela. Nevertheless, the theme did not change, which is pagpapanatili ng bayanihan tungo sa kalidad sa edukasyon sa kabataan. This theme is a joint implementation of the 2020 Brigada in Oplan Balik Eskwela, and the slogan for this year's conduct of the BE and OBE shall be Bayanihan sa Paaralan and or Binadang Aduyon Jay Eskwelaan, She Eskwedaan, with the aim of promoting sustainable and the safe living. This slogan highlights the application of knowledge and convergence of efforts to address the required health standards and social issues at home, in school, and in the community in the context of COVID-19. Another concern of this memorandum is the traditional concept of brigada eskwela, which involves physical cleaning, painting, repainting, and doing minor repairs will be no longer happen. So in as much as the implementation of the 2020 Brigada Eskwela and Oplan Balik Eskwela, we follow and implement the school slogan, Bayanihan sa Paaralan, or Binatang at Eskwelaan, or Aduyon si Eskwelaan. As Mother Teresa said, not all of us can do great things, but we can do small things with great love. So to everyone, sigad da ako tayon amin, maptang ay ago tako amin, higad ya ago tayon amin, maraming salamat po.
Good day, everyone. Mayat ay agaw undat ako amin. Mapteng dyan na ako sunsi katen umin. Masayaat nga aldaw kanya tayom amin. I am tasked today to present to you the Brigada Eskwela and Plan Balik Eskwela implementation of the school in the light of COVID-19. Before moving on, let me start with the background of Brigada Eskwela. Brigada Eskwela is a program of Republic Act 8525, also known as the Adapt School Act, which was made possible in 1998 through the Adapt School program. This is an effort to bring the spirit of volunteerism among stakeholders in preparing the school before the beginning of classes. The launching of the first Brigada Eskwela was made possible in May 2003 and was supported by DepEd Memo number 79 series of 2003. The one-week activity brought together teachers, parents, and community members in preparing public schools before opening of classes. And over the years, Brigada Eskwela hit a record high of 90% participation among school communities, generating billions worth of support in kind and in volunteer man-hours. The success of the Brigada Eskwela program has proven to continue to gain more mileage among different stakeholders, and it serves as one of DepEd's frontline initiatives. Brigada Eskwela is now institutionalized by DepEd Order number 24 series of 2008. Let me show you the framework of the Brigada Eskwela. There are 3 stages of the said activity, which starts with the pre-implementation stage. Organization of Brigada Eskwela committees and orientation on specific rules and tasks are done in this stage, followed by assessment of physical facilities and maintenance needs of the school. As early as January every year, assessment of school facilities is conducted. From the inventory of needs prepared, Brigada Eskwela activities are identified. To increase public awareness, advocacy, and social marketing is also conducted, either through social media, through print ads, and even on radio stations. Through the Resource Mobilization Committee, resources needed are determined, partners are tapped, volunteers and stakeholders are invited to participate. Firming up activities for the actual Brigada Week. This is now the final plan for the implementation of the activities. So we have now the implementation stage, which will start with a simple program and kickoff, and then organization and briefing of teams, assignment of work and zoning is done, volunteers work according to their skill. So in the actual implementation of work plan, all working committees perform specific roles and responsibilities, and they shall now deliver their committed services to ensure that all targeted activities are done. Documentation is an integral part of Brigada Eskwela and to be done by the documentation committee. So recording of daily accomplishment is monitored and assessed. At the end of each day of the Brigada week, debriefing sessions are conducted by the different working committees to find out how much work was done and still to be done. The final inspection is to be done in the last day. All working committees conduct final inspection of the different work and activities undertaken during the week-long Brigada Eskwela. In the event that the work plan is not completed, this could be carried out in the Brigada Eskwela Plus. Holding a short and simple closing program for transparency purposes is also encouraged. A summary of resource generated, work accomplished, lessons learned, and next steps should be presented to all parties and stakeholders in the said activity. Now, for the post-implementation stage, the following are undertaken. Preparation of the final accomplishment report, submission of the final accomplishment report, and sustaining Brigada Eskwela. School improvement is continuous. It is a year-round activity to guarantee the learners of an environment conducive to learning. So forging partnership with stakeholders can address some school needs. What is Uplan Balik Eskwela? Uplan Balik Eskwela, or OBE, is an annual campaign initiated by the Department of Education in coordination with other agencies, communities, and interest groups, and held to prepare for the opening of the school year. It aims to ensure that students are properly enrolled and able to attend school during the opening of classes. Uplan Balik Eskwela would also address the following: issues on traffic, safety and security, price monitoring of school supplies, preparation of school buildings and roads, public transportation, supply of utilities in schools, weather outlook, LGU coordination, and support. What is the traditional concept of Brigada Eskwela and Uplan Balik Eskwela? In this presentation, it is clearly stated that Brigada Eskwela is a volunteer program that brings together all education stakeholders to help prepare public schools for the opening of classes. It includes physical cleaning, in and out, canal declogging, painting, repainting, repairs, plumbing services, to name a few. And for Uplan Balik Eskwela, this ensures that learners are properly enrolled and able to attend school on the first day of classes. It addresses problems, queries, and other concerns commonly encountered by the public at the start of the school year. This year's Brigada Eskwela with the theme, Pagpapanatili ng Bayanihan tungo sa kalidad na edukasyon para sa kabataan, which was scheduled on May 18 to 23, 2020, was not carried due to the COVID-19. DepEd Memorandum Number 053 Series 2020 was issued and released to guide all schools in the conduct of Brigada Eskwela in the new normal setup. This is a joint implementing guidelines on the 2020 Brigada Eskwela and Uplan Balik Eskwela relative to the COVID-19 pandemic. So what will the new Brigada Eskwela and Uplan Balik Eskwela under the new normal framework look like? The activities of the Brigada Eskwela and Uplan Balik Eskwela shall be anchored in this slogan, Bayanihan sa Paaralan, or understood as simply Binadang. There are suggested COVID-19 activities that could be carried out in the new normal. So due to the COVID-19, this year's Brigada Eskwela and Uplan Balik Eskwela shall be reconfigured to fully assist the preparation of the stakeholders for the school year. It shall continue to engage stakeholders to ensure that the learning modalities under the basic education LCP will be effectively and efficiently implemented. Brigada Eskwela and Uplan Balik Eskwela shall run from June 1, 2020 to August 21, or rather 29, 2020. These are the suggested partnership activities for Brigada Eskwela 2020. Number one is disinfection of schools. The schools shall coordinate with the local government units or other non-government organizations and volunteers to clean and disinfect school buildings, classrooms, and other school facilities should there be a face-to-face classroom learning process. The school also shall engage partners to raise the availability of some items in school during Brigada Eskwela. Samples like thermal scanners, hand sanitizing materials such as rubbing alcohol, antibacterial or germicidal soap, cleaning tools, materials or disinfectants that may be used to disinfect the learning areas, such as spray tank, disinfectant spray, or disinfecting bleach or foot bath, washable face mask, surgical face mask, face shield, and surgical gloves, multivitamins capsules, tablets, or syrups for DepEd personnel and learners. It includes also the printing of COVID-19 and sanitation, proper hand washing, hygiene, information materials, printing of materials, and provision of supplies for distance learning for the learners, teachers, and parents. The school also shall ensure that psychological first aid or other psychological interventions and debriefing are conducted in partnership with stakeholders during the implementation of Brigada Eskwela. Virtual orientation activities with partners and PTA on DepEd learning continuity plan is also encouraged. Distance learning with parents stakeholder support, okay, with the following encouragement. Encourage parents through the Parents Teachers Association on possible collaborations with the schools to provide support for the continuation of learning opportunities. Engage parents in the promotion of the new school system. The new role and increased involvement of the parents in the learning of their children are essential to augment available resources and technology in the community. Engage partners in the promotion and provision of distance learning delivery modalities such as local radio TV stations and other available media as a form of Brigada Eskwela and partnership initiative to deliver the curriculum. The school may identify resources and partnership necessary for high-tech, low-tech, or no-tech aid for learning. for gulayan sa paaralan or urban gardening, it is highly encouraged that coordinate with the concerned DepEd units on the possible implementation of gulayan sa tahanan or urban vegetable gardening at home as part of Brigada Eskwela. And as part of school family community partnership to promote sustainable food supply at homes, as well as on communicating to stakeholders on how they can support the school emergency and contingency to ensure resiliency. Strengthen Brigada Pagbasa in the Learning Continuity Plan. Reading program is also highly encouraged to be promoted during the conduct of this program. Virtual partnership appreciation and school-based initiative is also highly encouraged. Upland Balikskwela under the new framework. It includes informing stakeholders about the learning opportunities amidst COVID-19. It is also encouraged to address enrollment-related issues, queries, and answer frequently asked questions. In partnership with Brigada Eskwela, this is a focus on information campaign on the implementation of the Learning Continuity Plan. It would also strengthen its synergy with the school's Brigada Eskwela to engage agencies, organizations, and other stakeholders in contributing to educational needs, especially during pandemic. Member agencies will perform critical role by providing guidelines on health and safety, peace and order, and transportation in the context of COVID-19 to ensure the safe conduct of any allowed face-to-face pre-opening and opening of school activities. Brigada Eskwela and Upland Balikskwela is no longer a face-to-face activity, and it shall focus on the implementation of the Learning Continuity Plan of the Department of Education in light of the COVID-19 situation in the country. Once again, we are asking for everyone's support to help Brigada Eskwela, Upland Balikskwela, a success during these trying times. Tara na! Brigada Eskwela at Upland Balikskwela na. Maraming salamat. Thank you very much.
So magandang araw sa ating lahat. Ang Barangay Council nga ng Barangay Lubas gusto nga magpasalamat sa DepEd Benguet Division at sa La Trinidad National High School sa pagkakaroon ng magandang proyekto, kaya magandang programa. Ito ay yung Brigada Eskwela na naniniwala ang bawat membro ng Barangay Council ng Barangay Lubas na malaki yung maitutulong o maiambag ng programang ito sa mga lahat na mag-aaral. Na yung mga mag-aaral na yon, yung mga anak din namin. So sa mga parents, sa mga guardians, sa mga stakeholders natin, mga donors natin, mga volunteers, maraming salamat din sa inyo. Sana huwag tayong magsawang tumulong sa programang ito. Huwag natin kalimutan na suportahan tong taong-taong programang ito. Dahil ang rason kung bakit ginagawa ng gobyerno to o kaya yung DepEd, hindi lang naman para sa ikakabuti ng eskwelahan o yung paaralan natin, hindi lang ikakabuti ng barangay o munisipyo, pero ang numero unong rason kung bakit ginagawa ng DepEd dito ay yung ikakabuti nga ng mga anak natin. So ituloy natin yung bayanihan, ituloy natin yung magiging supportive natin sa ating mga anak Kasi itong Brigada Eskwela, ito rin nga yung masasabi natin na isang bagay na proyekto ng gobyerno na kung saan maipapakita natin yung suporta ng bawat magulang, hindi lang sa eskwelahan, hindi lang sa mga guro, hindi lang sa gobyerno, kundi mas maipakita natin yung suporta natin sa ating mga anak. At yung suporta na yun, masasabi natin na yung pagmamahal ng isang magulang sa isang anak. Kaya ito, na in behalf ng Barangay Council ng Barangay Lubas, nananawagan kami na mag-ambag-ambag tayo ng tulong, financial man yan o kaya anong klaseng tulong, kahit gaano kaliit yan, i-appreciate ng DepEd, i-appreciate ng barangay officials, i-appreciate ng mga teaching and non-teaching staff ng La Trinidad National High School. Huwag nating sayangin, huwag nating sayangin itong araw na to, itong pagkakataon na to na makapagbigay tayo ng kaunting tulong. Yung kaunting tulong na yon, kung maiipon yon, sigurado magiging malaki. At yung magiging beneficiaries nga, hindi tayong mga magulang, kundi yung mga anak natin. Na importante naman sa atin, na bigyan natin ng magandang kinabukasan yung magiging, yung mga kinabukasan ng ating mga anak. So, ito, sinasabi ulit namin, mabuhay tayong lahat, huwag tayong magsawang tumulong, magkaisa tayo, buhayin natin, o ituloy natin yung bayanihan. Alam naman natin yung bayanihan, kahit na ikaw lang yung taga-sinyas dyan na ganito-ganito, pero yung cooperation mo andon, gaano man kaliit, pero pag samasamahin natin yan, magiging malaki. Magiging maganda yung product ng ating effort. Kaya inulit namin, buhayin natin, ituloy natin yung bayanihan. So sa lahat ng mga parents, sa lahat ng mga stakeholders, lahat tayo magkaisa. So mabuhay tayong lahat para sa ikakabuti, kakaunlad ng ating mga anak. So mabuhay tayong lahat.
Ibaggal daw kada tayo amin teaching and non-teaching personal iti DepEd, Benguet, ken amin nga listeners tayo tata. Makimay-may sa iti lokal nga gobyerno ti Benguet, ti virtual kick-off ti Division Joint Brigada Eskwela ken Oplan Eskwela with team pagpapanatili ng bayanihan tungo sa kalidad ng edukasyon para sa kabataan. Ano pa man at tayo ti global crisis, gapo iti daytoy nga virus, itutuloy tayo lahat ti strong partnership ken serbisyo para iti umili. Itutuloy tayo ti panagtitinulong ti local government, ti probinsya, ti munisipyo, ti barangay, ken daytoy DepEd, dagitoy teachers, ken dagitoy opisyal, ti PTA, dagitoy tatang. Ti panagpasaya tayo ti eskwelaan, ano maging komportable, di maging safe, daytoy para dagitoy anak tayo maumunod ti eskwela. We are in full support in the innovation iti DepEd. Tapno tutuloy na tayo iti panagadal dagiti ubing tayo with the assurance nga safe isuda. Maawatan tayo iti concern iti daduma nga parents nga madamdanagan iti opening ti classes. Gamada jay pagbanga tayo nga different learning options. Sunod ko natin mga flexible learning options iti DepEd tapno makaadal na ti ubing tayo uray awan ti face-to-face classes. Kaya pingot nga panagyaman dagiti frontliners iti DepEd, Benguet, ken na kayo amin nga timultulong. Ken nagtatrabaho tapno agpatuloy latta iti panagadal ti ubing tayo. Kaya tayo nga labanan dagitoy COVID basta agtutuloy ti panagmaymaysa. Operasyon ken panagayat iti maysa ken maysa. Salamat and God bless everyone.
Mateng jen agsapat ayon amin. Mayat ay agsapat ako amin. Gawis ay agsapat ako amin. To all the teaching and non-teaching staff, our dear students and parents of La Trinidad National High School, and to all our responsive and supportive stakeholders, good morning. May we, the La Trinidad National High School family, extend our gratitude to all our partners who are always there to support us for the successful implementation of our Brigada Eskwela and Oplan Balik Eskwela through the spirit of Binadang. To mention some of our very supportive stakeholders, we have with us today our active Punong Barangay of Lubas, Honorable Roger Angel, with his members of the Barangay Council, who are always ready to give assistance to the school in the successful implementation of DepEd's projects, programs, and activities, who, during this COVID pandemic, willingly allowed the school personnel to use the barangay vehicle free of charge in its educational and financial transactions. They are also willing to assist the school during the physical enrollment, in the implementation and observance of the IETF protocols for the safety of learners, teachers, and parents. We also thank our PTA, led by its president, Mr. Jerry Kiblasan, for their support in the implementation of school activities and projects, together with the La Trinidad Federation of PTA officers, led by Mr. Raimton Andres, and the Benguet Federation PTA officers, led by Sir Jeramil Lasegan. We are also thankful for the support being extended to us by the municipal officials, headed by the energetic Mayor, Honorable Romeo Salda, for the provision of material support for our Brigada Eskwela and for other health services. To our parents, who are very ready to support the school in its programs and projects for the development and safety of our children. To the government, non-government, and religious and other civic individuals for their invaluable services and support. Thank you. The Brigada Eskwela, in this new normal situation due to the coronavirus pandemic, brought about a different approach in its implementation, as was presented by our school's Brigada Eskwela coordinator, Mrs. Constanza Jane Abadiles. This Brigada Eskwela is geared towards addressing the needs of our students and at the same time ensuring safety of our teachers and non-teaching personnel through some activities such as the provision of hand-washing facilities, cleaning and disinfection of classrooms, wearing a face mask, hygiene, and the observance of social distancing measures. Allow me to present some of the suggested partnership engagement activities for the Brigada Eskwela. These are disinfection of classrooms and offices, mobilization of essential items, conduct of virtual psychological first aid sessions or psychosocial interventions, distance learning through the distribution of modules, gulayan sa paaralan o tahanan, other virtual or online school-based initiatives, and others. In the implementation of the Oplan Balik Eskwela, we in the school level support the learning continuity plan of the Department of Education and the school's division of Benguet. May we now call on our administrative assistant for senior high school, Mrs. Josan Sagadillo, to enlighten us on the planning framework of the learning continuity plan.
Good morning, everyone. In the planning framework of the Learning Continuity Plan, there are strategic objectives to serve as guide in the attainment of the 4 pillars. As you can see in this presentation, written above is the vision, on the sides are the strategic objectives, and the center are the 4 pillars, which are, first, curriculum development for the improved delivery, instruction, and assessment. Next, improving the learning environment to develop learners' full potential. Third, teachers and school leaders upskilling and reskilling to improve competencies. And the fourth one is engagement of stakeholders for support and collaboration. And at the core, address equity, close access gaps, and improve quality.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Josan Sagantillo, for presenting the 4 pillars in the planning framework. In line with this learning continuity plan, education will still push through. The COVID pandemic will not hamper us in the continuing education of our learners, as mentioned by DepEd Secretary Leonor Briones. Education will be delivered without compromising the health of our learners and our teachers. So, alternative modalities were suggested to avoid the face-to-face teaching learning process. In the survey conducted to our learners and parents, it came out that 80% would like to avail of the blended learning modality. Blended in the sense that our learners prefer to use modules and face-to-face, while 10% of the students prefer online learning and other 10% chose to have homeschooling through TV or radio and other modalities of learning. The new normal in education has already been started in our school with our online enrollment on the first 2 weeks of June through the effort of Sir Agustin Dauanis, who initiated to create an electronic enrollment form to be used in the 6 grade levels from grade 7 to 12. The data being consolidated by the class advisors and grade heads, and to be submitted to the overall grade head. Our teachers are helping at present our division in the preparation of modules in the different learning areas. All the concerted efforts of the different stakeholders is geared towards the continuous educational development of the hope of our nation, our learners today. Let us all join hands or have binnadang or agduyun for the success of education in our school amidst this pandemic. As the saying goes, in union, there is strength. Wenno, iti panagkaykaysa, adda magunod nga ginawa. Mabuhay and God bless.
Magandang araw sa ating lahat. Sana ay lahat tayong naririto via video conference ay nasa magandang kalagayan. Kasama na rin lahat ng ating mga pamilya. Mahigit 3 buwan na simula ng naging pandemic itong sakit na COVID-19 na dahilan ng pagkaantala ng pag-aaral ng napakaraming mga estudyante. Bilang mag-aaral ay siguro naantala na rin at kayo ay naburing na rin sa bahay nyo. Pero ngayong lumuwag na ang community quarantine, lagi nating alalahanin ang word na community quarantine. Nandun pa rin po yung community quarantine. So, kaming mga guro ng La Trinidad National High School, lagi po namin pinapaalala na wag po tayong maging kampante sa maluwag na community quarantine na ito. Kasi nandun pa rin, ulitin ko, nandun pa rin po yung sinasabi nilang community quarantine. So, anong ibig sabihin ba ng quarantine na ito? So, lagi nating sundin ang protocol ng gobyerno at ng DepEd ukol rito. Kakibat ng Uplan Balik Eskwela ng DepEd ay ang Brigada Eskwela. Kasama nito ang pisikal na paglilinis, pagpipintura at pagsasagawa ng repair sa paaralan. nasasaad sa memorandum ng DepEd number 53 na kinakailangan ng istriktong pagpapatupad ng protocol ng social distancing. Ano pa ba? Pagsasagawa ng proper hygiene at lagi nating sundin ang sinasabi ng Interagency Task Force, ang Department of Health at ang lokal na gobyerno. Narito ang ilan sa mga kinakailangang sundin sa pagsasagawa ng Brigada Eskwela. Social distancing, palagi ang pagsuot ng face mask, paghuhugas ng kamay gamit ang sabon, pag-disinfect ng gamit, at kapag kayo ay nakaramdam ng sintomas kagaya ng hirap sa paghinga, pag-ubo, at iba pa, na karaniwan ito ang sinasabi nilang sintomas ng COVID-19. Maaari kayong sumangguni sa mga kinauukulan o kaya pagbalik na ng paaralan natin o pagbalik na ng eskwela ay pwede nyo ring isangguni sa mga guro na nakaantabay upang kayo ay magabayan. Lagi po nating tandaan na ang ating kaligtasan ang pinakamalaga sa misyong ito ng Brigada Eskwela o kaya ang Uplan Balik Eskwela. Ang ating pagtutulungan sa brigada at sa istriktong pagtupad ng nasasaad na protocol ay alinsunod sa layuning pagpapanatili ng bayanihan tungo sa kalidad na edukasyon para sa kabataan. Kami ay lubusang nagpapasalamat sa mga sumusunod. Una, ang aming punong barangay. Pangalawa, ang aming butihing mayor ng La Trinidad. At sa mga magulang na lubusa at walang sawang sumusuporta sa paralang ito. At ang technical working group sa likod ng Brigada Eskwela virtual kick-off na ito. Maraming salamat at magandang araw.